Hey guys, it's me. I told y'all we're gonna have a chit chat or a talking video, and so here we are. And this one's just gonna be about Crystal's original diagnosis. I just want to do one at a time. I'm not gonna go through her whole cancer experience. We'll be here forever if I do. So we'll just do one at a time. I just want to just see a picture of her. She's a very beautiful woman. Um, Very radiant, beautiful, and stunning, really. And from the inside and out, she was just, just such a wonderful person, and I miss her every day, and I always will for the rest of my life. But I will spend the rest of my life honoring her, though, honoring her memory. I will not let that die, for sure, because she has a legacy, and I want to share her legacy with the world, and also like to do what I can do to help try to, keep others from going through what she went through, possibly. But anyhow, so what happened was we were just chilling in the living room, and she was on one couch and I was on the other one, and she was laying down, and she was kind of complaining about her abdominal area hurting a little bit, and I didn't think it was too bad or whatever, but she said it's getting worse, and I was like, well, maybe you better go and at least go and rule out an appendicitis, because I think it was on her right side. And so I was kind of concerned that, well, if we don't go, it'll end up being appendicitis and it could burst. And, I was thinking the worst. So, anyway, I was like, better be safe than sorry. We'll go down there and get you checked out. So she went to Glenwood, and went down there, and they took some blood work from her, and they come up with her hemoglobin was at 6. It should have been 12. 12 is normal for your hemoglobin, but hers was 6. From what they said, half the blood in her body was gone, and that she had an internal bleeding somewhere inside of her body, and we had to figure out where it was coming from. So they admitted her, and I was like, wow, this is crazy, but still really didn't think that it was going to end up being that big of a deal. I didn't know possibly what it could possibly be, but I didn't think it would be cancer. But anyway, so for the next couple of days, she got a blood transfusion. She did get a blood transfusion because she had to get one, and so we did that, and then we got the colonoscopy done a couple of days later by Dr. Kuhn, which Dr. Kuhn is actually my gastroenterologist. He is a great gastroenterologist. I would recommend him to anyone. Absolutely, he's great. So, because I have some stomach issues, that I deal with too, ulcerative colitis. It doesn't flare up much anymore, but when it does, it's terrible. So he's my gastro, and I was glad that he was doing her. So anyway, so when he came out from the colonoscopy, he said, "Oh, she did great, but we found this tumor in there," and all kind of nonchalant, and he's like, and if it grew through the wall, it's stage 3. If it grew all the way through the wall, it's stage 4, or something like that. And the main thing I remember hearing was stage 3 and stage 4. That was the most concerning thing that I heard. Because I know stage 4 is absolutely, that's end stage cancer. I've already knew that. And that was, I don't know, it was so surreal at the time. You think it would be frightening, but it was just very surreal at the time. And of course, I was trusting in God that it would be a situation that we can handle, when we can have it removed, and she'll be okay. So they consulted her with Dr. Marks, Dr. Daryl Marks, which is a surgeon. Used to be a surgeon here, Monroe. Now I think he's in Shreveport. Excellent surgeon. He's great, and I would recommend him to anyone. So if any of y'all end up having to have surgery and Daryl Marks comes into the picture, you should feel very good and confident about going in with him. He's very good at what he does. So anyhow, so we went up to the Monroe Surgical. Went to Monroe Surgical, and we went up there and we had prayer with our assistant pastor from the Assembly church. We go to the Assembly. We're a full gospel, full spirit-filled church, Pentecostal. And anyhow, so he had prayer with her, and so she went back, and a couple hours later, he comes out and he says, well, she did fine, and he took 8 inches of her colon out. And he also told me that the cancer was stuck to one of her ovaries. So he removed the ovary and one of her fallopian tubes also. So it was stuck to her back. He said it was stuck to her back. But it was stuck to an ovary, and he got rid of the ovary and the fallopian tube. Anyhow, was no big deal to us. I mean, we already had plenty of kids, and I think at that point I already had a vasectomy done, so that doesn't matter. It didn't matter to us. But even though she still had one good working fallopian tube and an ovary, it wasn't a big deal to us. Anyway, so the next big thing was the appointment to go see Dr. Marks to see if the cancer had gotten in any lymph nodes. This was a very nerve-wracking 2 weeks, because there's so many things going through your mind, because if it got into her lymph nodes, it's probably gonna come back, and you're gonna be dealing with stage 4 cancer at that point, and who knows, you're just hoping to God it's just not in the lymph nodes. So anyhow, so we finally get to that appointment date. Before, this is something I want to share. My son Jack, he's an introvert. He's not really a people person, and he's gifted. He's very intelligent, and he's gifted, and I don't know. He always thinks he's the smartest one in the room or whatever. But anyway, Crystal used to write scriptures in her notebook. Her favorite scriptures. She had a notebook. She wrote her scriptures. She used to journal a lot too, especially through her cancer journey. She journaled quite a bit. and I still have all her journaling. So anyway, so I'm glad she left that behind uh, for us. But anyhow, okay, all right. So where am I at? Oh yeah, my son Jack. So she used to write, and so my son would not ever do anything like this because he did not like any special attention. He doesn't. He don't want any. He don't want the spotlight on him. He don't want any attention from me or his mama or anything about anything. But that morning, he said, "Mama, can I write a Bible verse down in this book?" And he wanted to write one in the notebook, and we were like, "Well, yeah, son." I mean, we were excited about it because that was just so not like him. And so he did. So he opened up his Bible, and the first verse that he came to in that Bible was James 3:6, I think, or 4:6. I can't remember. It's draw near to God, and He'll draw near to you. And which is a great verse, a well-known verse. And so we were really proud of him for that, and we didn't think nothing about it. After that, though, we were just proud of him for doing it. Well, that day I kept him out of school because he was supposed to go to the doctor. So I held him out, and we went to the Johnny's Pizza Buffet. And so I was like, son, and this time we were kind of hurting financially because of the cancer situation. Let me tell you, cancer will financially devastate you. Gosh, I don't care how much money you're raking in. They'll siphon every bit of money. They'll find a way to siphon that money out of your bank account. One way or another. If they know you have it, they're coming after it. Cancer industry is just it's ridiculous. Anyhow, so anyway, so I told Jack, I said, son, let's go by the flower shop and let's get something for your mama and make her feel better. Like I think it'd be a great gesture. It'll brighten her day, and and you want to do that? And he's like, sure, Dad. So we went to All Occasions flower shop right there on Cypress Street in West Monroe. And we got there, and we opened the door, and as soon as we opened the door, Jack said, "Oh my God, Daddy." And he looked, and there was a little fish figurine that had that Bible verse on it. Draw near to God and He'll draw near to you, James 4:8. And I was like, that was a confirmation. That was an absolute confirmation. It was like a miracle. Because, you don't just open the book, come to that verse, write it down, end up, seeing it, first thing you see when you're going to I'm sorry, that wasn't a coincidence, okay? I believe in God. I believe in miracles. I believe in confirmations, and I've seen a lot of miraculous things. Enough to know that my God exists, and enough to know that He is, that He loves us, that He cares about us. He is present when we're hurting, and you just gotta depend on Him to get you through the hardest times in life. So anyway, we get to the so let's just fast forward to the Monroe Surgical. Got in there and took it out. He got 8 inches of a colon, and I've already told you all about this. And then the ovary and the fallopian tube. So he got all that out of there. So the next appointment that we had to go to was 2 weeks later. We had to wait for the for whatever to get the specimen back, to see if it had gotten in any of the lymph nodes. Boy, that was such a nerve-wracking 2 weeks. But see but the deal with Jack and him and that little figurine that he found, and we bought that too. I gave it to him as a reminder of his faith throughout his life. You can always look at that and have a reminder of, God is very real, and he's got your back. But that morning, I had prayed and I said, God, please give me a sign that everything's going to be okay. And he did that, and he did that through my son. And after that, I wasn't worried no more. And until the day that we went to the doctor, and I got a little bit, butterflies in my stomach then. But he came in and he said, well, it didn't get in the lymph nodes, and we were like, yay, we're getting all excited or whatnot. He said, but there was a cell deposit. Don't ask me how to explain this properly, because I still don't understand it properly myself. A cell deposit, and because of that, they wanted to do chemotherapy, a cleanup around a chemotherapy, and so he referred us over to Dr. Barron, which later on to me was one of the worst possible things that he could have done. I'm not a fan of Dr. Barron, and you'll know why in the next video whenever I talk about her stage 4 cancer diagnosis at the time. But anyhow, so we go to Barron, and Barron says, I just want to put the icing on the cake as far as the chemo is concerned. So we put her on the chemo, and just for 3 months, and after that, she got off and got a full body CT scan, and it was all clear, and they were like wonderful. But we asked him for a PET scan. We wanted a PET scan. We wanted to make sure there was not a spot of cancer left in her body. And he just wouldn't give it to us. And he said, you don't need it. Why? Why you don't need it? I was like, well, we got the insurance. We want to do it. Just, for God's sakes, let us do it. And I should have done it. We should have demanded it. If I'd have known now or I'd have known later, I would have demanded it. But I was pretty confident in, that we had gotten rid of it and that it wasn't coming back. But anyhow, ended up in the end that cell deposit was not a lymph node, but it was equivalent to a lymph node. So it still had a way of spreading through this cell deposit. See, I don't understand a lot of those really deep medical explanations or whatnot, especially when it comes to cancer. And I've done a lot of studying on it and tried to understand as much of it as I can, but it really is a lot to take in. And I don't know. As far as they've come in cancer research and treatments and whatnot, I still don't understand why they have come any farther than they have. And anyway, so we're big on holistic treatment, and I believe that everyone needs to get a holistic, uh, a certified holistic person along with their oncologist to fight their cancer. I believe that's the absolute best results that you're going to get if you go through, um, if you do it that way, because there are natural things that you can take that will not only help, but will actually kill cancer too. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen it happen scan after scan, and I was just completely taken back by it. But anyhow, we'll talk about that later as well. So that's the story of her first diagnosis, and after that we just kind of got to living life. We went on a trip to Pensacola, Florida, and took the kids and had a great time, and we just kind of realized we need to start living life a little bit more, going on vacations a little bit more, and just try to enjoy life, because that was a very scary moment at that point, and we knew that anything could happen in the future too. So if I want you to learn anything from this video, number one, if you are, I don't think I mentioned Crystal and her mother. When her mother died when she was 56. She died about a year or two before Crystal got her cancer diagnosis. But she liked to eat ice chips in the hospital, and Crystal spent a lot of time with her mama in her last days. She spent more time with her than any of her brothers or sisters, and she really showed her a lot of a lot of mercy and pity in the end, because her mother was not very close to her, not very good to her throughout her lifetime. And she did apologize towards the end, before she got dementia and started losing her mind. And so the point of this story is that she started eating ice with her mama in the hospital room. Well, whenever her mama died and they got out, she went in the hospice, mama died. Well, she just kept eating ice. She thought that the eating ice was just something that she picked up with her mother, something that she just something that had to do with her and her mama bonding, the eating ice with each other or something. I don't know. It sounds crazy, but that's what she thought. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if you are a loved one, or you have a loved one, or a friend, or by God, an enemy, anybody that you know of that is eating ice constantly and just suddenly for no reason, you need to tell them to get to a doctor, because most likely they're anemic. And if they're anemic, there's many reasons, but you can be anemic, but it could be because you're internal bleeding. and loss of blood. So that's one thing that could lead to a cancer diagnosis. Uh, so get it checked out. Don't think you just suddenly become addicted to ice for no reason. Um, that's just not the way it works. So, but that's it. So, yep, that's it. That's all I have for this video. And we'll get to the second diagnosis on another video. We'll probably play some more music and, play some more. Just remember Crystal some more and these songs and these songs that remind me of her and remind me of us and our marriage. And, this is just, I've changed the channel to my name, Frank McElduff. And, may as well just self-title it. And, but I want my channel to be about honoring my wife. And, I'd like to think that she would be proud of me for doing that for her, or that she would, that it would make her feel special. And I know it would, but she would probably expect me to do something like this anyway, because I've always, music was such a huge foundation of our relationship. And, she wanted her a guitar player. She found her a guitar player, and then we went and had coffee, and I played her a few songs, and next thing you know, we're getting married and having all kinds of kids, and and just living the dream. So I tell you right now, even knowing how it ended, as terrible as it was, I would do it all over again, over and over again, just to have that love, that kind of love, that kind of intimate, deep, intimate love. There's just nothing better. There's no better woman for me. Me and her were just alike, and kind of too much just alike. Sometimes we butt heads, but that's okay. No marriage is perfect, but anyhow, I usually let her win the fight most of the time. So I just get tired of fighting. That's just the way I was. But we didn't fight that often. So anyhow, that is the first diagnosis talk. I know I'm a terrible talker. I really should work on my speech skills, but we're just going off the cuff, and I'm just this country boy from West Monroe that has a Android phone with a crack on the screen because I dropped it the other day, and I'm gonna get my message out on this thing though. Maybe eventually I'll get me some better equipment, and we'll take it up a notch. I don't know, but hopefully we'll get my kids. You get to meet my kids. I hope that they're able to speak some on how they feel and grief, or just speak about their mother and remembrance of her. So I gotta understand and find out which kids are ready to do that, and ones that aren't. I'm not gonna try to force them to do something if they don't want to. So anyway, but I look forward to y'all meeting my kids, and we're just gonna build this channel, and this is just gonna be I guess kind of a video or vlog of my life. So this is just the beginning of it. So hopefully I'm not boring y'all too much. I'll get better with my speaking, and I'll get better with my songs and my playing and whatnot. You know, I'm just getting started. So, you know, I'll try to get up to speed here soon enough, and try to act more like a professional YouTuber. Anyway, get good with my editing and all that stuff. I have no idea how to edit right now. I think y'all could notice that quite. Yeah, y'all can definitely tell. I don't know how to edit my videos. I don't edit my videos. I just kind of mumble and bumble and talk and try to just get through it. Oh, y'all see my arm? Yeah. I got 2nd-degree burns on my arm right there. That's some hot grease. Hot grease burning my arm there. And, no, it didn't really hurt that bad. If you wondered if I cried, I didn't. But, it did hurt. And my thumb, that is a 2nd-degree burn also. I actually need to go and get a Band-Aid around it. But I've got 3 burns that run all up and down my arm right here. And anyway, hopefully it won't leave a nasty scar. So anyway, well, we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for listening to me ramble on for a little while. And if you're not asleep, then I appreciate it. If you are asleep, let's set an alarm next time. All right, we'll talk to y'all later.